The Trump brothers, Eric and Don Jr., decided foolishly to do an interview with CNBC that aired this week, where they barely made any sense. And I'm going to read you like from this transcript so you can see if it makes any sense to you. But the one part that was a coherent sentence was when they actually blamed their father's corruption on the American public. Like, it's y'all's fault this is happening. So it all began because earlier this week, a new report came out dealing with the World Liberty Financial, which is their crypto business, the UAE investments. Like, they've taken millions from these foreign governments. You've got the Emirati government in there. So just all kinds of really shady deals with governments that, of course, want favors from the Trump administration. So it's pretty obvious what's happening here. The Trump boys were asked about that by CNBC anchor Sara Eisen. She said, you know what the critics would say? They'd say that the credibility factor is the Trump name and the Trump White House and everyone is here to curry favor. And that's when Eric Trump responded saying, I think the great irony here is they didn't give us much of a choice. And then Donald Trump Jr. said, they created this monster. So it's our fault, right? We created the monster that is their hugely corrupt criminal father. We did that. Like, we goofed somehow and we forced him to be corrupt. Now, I'm not exactly sure how, because these two morons did not elaborate, of course. But Eric Trump then said, when you had every big bank in the world for doing nothing wrong, when you had every big bank in the world for doing nothing wrong just based on the fact that we all wore a hat that said, Make America Great Again, my father happened to be running as a Republican, canceled us. Jesus Christ. Okay. I'm not even done. That's like the first, sentence. It is one sentence, apparently. And I feel like my brain broke. I want everybody to realize I'm not stuttering and stammering and misreading this. That's the line. And it gets worse. Like, this is what Eric Trump spoke. He said this on live TV. And nothing I just read in that sentence makes any sense at all. It's not grammatically correct. It's not English, as far as I can tell. But anyway, Eric continues. He goes, I was getting these calls. 300 bank accounts. Capital One in the middle of the night. These are commercial buildings, residential buildings. Golf courses, are around the world. These aren't political entities. And they were pulling these accounts like we were absolute dogs. I'd love to keep reading that. I would love to be able to keep reading this. I physically can't. I physically cannot read the words that this man said out loud on television. Not because they're bad words or because I don't know how to pronounce them, but because my brain cannot read sentences like that make no sense. I just, oh my God. And again, I read these before I do these segments. Like, I went through it, but it's one thing to read it in writing, but to have to say these words in this order that he has them in, I genuinely have a headache now. But I do have to keep going because Donald Trump Jr. also had some nonsense to say. They're used to being able to do that to people who have no ability to fight back. We had the balance sheet, we had the following, the big soapbox to be able to push back and to call out this nonsense. And a lot of Americans saw that and they were appreciative of it because they saw it happening to them. They couldn't get credit card processing if you were a small gun shop in the middle of nowhere because, that doesn't check off the woke boxes. And so we did this out of necessity, and it was important. I think it's important for the world. And in that, I think we're creating a lot of efficiencies that were lacking in the system. I mean, as someone who either one of us could have called any banker in New York over the last 20 years and gotten a loan for a building, and we just realized we were sort of at the top of the Ponzi scheme that was banking. I'm sorry, Junior. Did you just say on television you were at the top of the Ponzi scheme? I mean, let me read that one more time. And we just realized we were sort of the top of the Ponzi scheme that was banking. You realize, Don, that the top of the Ponzi scheme is the lead fraudster. That's the person or group or individual, whatever, that runs the Ponzi scheme. So either you don't know what a Ponzi scheme is, or you just admitted to some pretty serious felonies on television? I mean, the one thing you say that kind of makes sense between the two of you is an admission of crime. Wonderful. I want to see more interviews with these people. I think everybody that has any show anywhere needs to just bring these two idiots on and just let them talk. Like, these are not normal. I mean, the way Eric Trump spoke, and he's not the one who, gets all crazy and erratic like Junior does, but this guy, I don't even know. Is there a brain? Is there any kind of brain? Did he have an accident before this interview began? Like, he and his brother were jumping on the trampoline and he fell off and knocked his head on the bar of the trampoline and then tried to do an interview? I mean, something, because that's not normal. That is indicative of something's wrong with your brain. Not that you need treatment, but you need to go to the hospital right now. If I were to start speaking in sentences like Eric Trump did during that segment, I would hope somebody would call an ambulance for me immediately, because that is indicative of something deeply wrong that could be potentially, life-ending. Like, you're having not just a stroke, you're having all the strokes right now. But I also encourage these two morons, please keep doing interviews, because holy hell, you're the dumbest two people in the United States of America. Thanks for watching, and if you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do so, and do not forget to like and comment and share widely among your friends.